Sure.
There's probably, there are some trees that are more beneficial where they're at.
Absolutely, or in better
Yep,
shape.
exactly.
Or whatever, so.
If you-
Oddly enough, when we had the Dutch elm problem, most of the trees that were recommended to replace were the ash, because at that time they were considered the hardiest and the faster growing of a good solid tree, so. And I think we'll kind of learn, just like we did Dutch elm, you just have to go with the flow. And, some, a period of years, it's not all gonna happen in one year.
Sure.
Well, I guess he was, you know, he's a resident town, he's a citizen of Mars, and he was thinking maybe I could help a few people, and I think it's okay to hear him. And to have that information given to our residents, they can still make the choice, the city can still make the choice if it's, you know, if we deem 20, 25 trees that really need to be there to protect Central or the Boulevard or something like that, and it costs us a few $1,000s, we'll have to decide that. But maybe that's what we wanna do too, so. It's just something that came up, and I thought, you know, we should announce it at the council meeting, we should make people aware that we're talking to somebody, and if, they wanna call City Hall and find out a contact for this guy, we've got a contact, but I think it's more that we maybe give him maybe a room or meeting place to explain it to people if they wanna come. So, that's fine. Thing I got. Anything you got, Kenny?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, Kevin, would you like to give your
I can start if you like, Dan.
police report? Please.
I'm assuming everybody has a copy,
Yep.
and you folks have a copy too? Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and start right on the front page. That there is, I didn't invite all my officers in because a lot of them work nights, but that is a picture of all of them. Going on to page 2, I just wanna highlight some changes maybe this year, and that is the 2018 staff changes. Amy Augustine was hired as the office assistant, and we hired a new officer that eventually replaced Jay King, Brandon Cabney. We had 2 promotions in 2018. Dan Pluger and Lenny Flack were promoted to sergeant, and I guess also Jay King was actually promoted to assistant chief and also retired the same year. If you look through the list there, we see a change. We have 14 officers on the force. 7 of them officers have 6 years or less experience. So the dam is broke. We are getting new, younger faces on the department. I appreciate you guys allowing me to make some structural changes this year with the sergeants. Those individuals are very important to the department because we do have the younger officers where they do need some guidance. So I do appreciate the support, letting me make those staff changes. Going on to page 3, I'm just kind of give you a statistic overview. I did things a little bit different this year. Stu always gave you a 5-year comparison. I went back 20 years on the overall calls for service and such to kind of give you a idea of how things have progressed over the past 20 years. Our total activity for 2018 was 22,809 calls. Back in 1998, that number was roughly 3,800. We have about a 275% increase from 1998. And I'll talk more about some of them increases here. Officers investigated roughly 1,200 complaints in 2018. These are things that they would spend a amount of time in. Maybe they would be an investigation into a theft, sexual abuse. They've risen to the level that we report these instances to the federal government, so we investigated 1,200 of them this year. We issued roughly 3,000 citations and warnings. Again, same as last year, 3 out of 4 individuals that we stop are issued a warning. We do not use our traffic stops as a revenue source for the city, even though some people believe that we do. That's simply not the case. Parking tickets are down this year. That's good news. We just haven't had the snow. So far, 851 in 2018. Our arrests are up from 5-year average. We're at 625. The 5-year average was 464. Accidents has taken an uptick a little bit. We're at 274 for 2018. That is a 5-year high, however, it's still relatively close throughout the 5 years. We had 1 fatality and 30 injury accidents out of those 274. One of the new categories that I added in September of 2017, right after I assumed the role as Chief of Police, is community outreach. We had 2,030 community police contacts in 2018, and that represents about 10% of our times engaged in community outreach in the community. Justin, I'm actually going to have you come up, and Justin's going to kind of go over some of the community outreach that we do. That's going to be on page 4. And the reason I asked Justin to do this is he actually spearheaded a lot of these, and I just want him to go over this list right here.
Yeah, some of the community outreaches that I guess affect both not just the community, the kids we deal with, but also the officers. Some of the house watches that we do, basically when people are on vacations or gone, we did 618 of those house watches throughout the year. National Night Out is something we involve all the officers. I think we started a few years back with just maybe 100 people showing up. I think we were close to 300 this year, or 2018. So the numbers there are growing for an open house, just getting the community involved there. The foot patrols at schools with daily walkthroughs to each community school in Galen. We interact with kids, maybe just 10 minutes, interact with kids, students, faculty, just see what's been going on, what issues that we can maybe address. And also we hit Floyd Valley and some of the other businesses in town that are open 24 hours, just to give them a sense that we're out there and available. We met with a lot of business meetings with updating our contacts. Face-to-face interaction with businesses, getting local contacts, case after hour emergencies prevail that we need who we can contact. We did a Hero Day in the spring with the Optimist Club. I believe that was in April, probably one of the nicest days we had in April. So it was a fun time. Citizens Academy, I know Jay really spearheaded that and kicked that off. We've had some great comments from the public, from the people that attended it, that we want to continue that. The Police Memorial Run, that was probably the coldest day in May that we had. We had not a lot of runners, but something we just kicked off to honor the Police Memorial Week, fallen officers. We had probably 20 runners at that point. Shop with a Cop, this is 2018 was our second year doing that. We take basically just some less fortunate kids, take them shopping, give them a budget that each child is assigned one officer, and we just go through and shop, giving them something to shop for them as well as a family member, kind of spread the Christmas spirit, I guess, with the less fortunate. Ice cream with a Cop. That was something people were actually excited to see squad cars driving through neighborhoods. We hit roofers, we hit gardeners, we hit kids, we hit everybody throughout the summer, just handing out ice cream. So we do thank Willis for the participating in that as well. Coffee with a Cop, that is a chance for us to get out and just hear the concerns from citizens, see what they want to express to law enforcement, what we can do better at, what we need to improve at. We did 3 of those last year. We've already done 1 this year already. Chamber visits, we encourage the officers when they're working days to stop in during a chamber visit, just to mingle and again, see what's been going on. We present a lot to civic groups, the Optimist Club. We do a lot of presentations, whether it's drug information or just the trending things throughout the community. Project Safe Meds, that's ongoing at the police department. We get a lot of medications in that people want to dispose of properly. And then the Safe Zone, Internet Exchange, as well as the Safe Transportation Place for Internet and Child Exchange is beneficial to having the new PD now. We do have that on camera, so if you want to do an Internet exchange, that's very beneficial to some people. Just they feel the reassurance that they're doing it in a place where hopefully nothing goes wrong. The DARE program, as you see there, it's 105 classes conducted last year in 2018. I think myself and Officer Vickery did 50 of those classes, so we're just getting our feet wet in that, and that's something that's actually proven to be extremely beneficial to all officers, as well as the walkthroughs. The school resources, we do a lot of drug programs. Each semester we'll go in and speak with about drug safety. We also teach internet safety to 6th grade. We'll go in and speak with them about being safe on the internet, what to and what not to text out, bullying, stuff like that, that tends to be a ongoing issue with teenage kids this day. Bike patrol, something that's been new to us too. We really enjoy the guys that are on the bike patrol right now. We have 2 officers on bike patrol. It's been very beneficial on the bike trail at night. They've encountered not a lot, maybe a handful of subjects that at least we've been able to identify, whether they're transients or just out after hours, but not necessarily just keeping the streets safe, but also alleys and walkways at night. We did a lot of active shooter trainings. That's something we're also going to pick up again this year to businesses, and some more schools have been inquiring about giving more active shooter training. And also the K-9 presentations. We get a lot of requests for the K-9 officers to stop in. They've been requesting that in DARE as well. They want to see the dog, not necessarily us, but they want to see the dog come in. So, yeah. So we, as much as we can get them involved, get the dogs familiar with the kids through the school, just the interaction with that is something that's been growing as well. And I know right now Officer Reed does a lot of foot patrol downtown with his K-9, obviously when weather permitting, but we'll check alleys, doors, what he encounters. Just walking around with his dog is something we don't see in squad cars, so that's very beneficial. So that's just some of the community outreach programs that we've done in 2018 that we are continuing in 2019, hopefully from there on as well.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
I'm going to have you switch back to page 3 just real briefly. I want to talk about budget, grants, and funding. FY18, I did come slightly under budget. Some of the stuff that we've been doing is some cost sharing with Plymouth, Cherokee, Sioux County, and Cherokee Police Department. That savings was $5,600 last year, just doing a cost share with those agencies, and we're kind of talking about expanding that a little bit in some other programs. That's been very beneficial to this core group of agencies that work really well together. The bike patrol program, we could not have done that without the private donation that kicked that off. Also, I'd really like to thank the community that raised almost $9,000 for our K-9 program. That money should sustain us for 3 to 4 years, and it also allowed us to purchase the new K-9, which we picked up in September. I'd like to thank Wells Enterprises and Gateway. They donated approximately $45,000 in furniture and materials for the new police station. Total grant donations in 2018 that we took in was roughly $80,000. Probably going to jump to page 5. I just want to go over some of the highlights of 2018. We patrol 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. This equates to about 2,500 shifts a year, and that is covered by 13 or 14 officers. Officers patrol about 76 miles of Lamar's roads, on average about 410 miles per day, so roughly about 150,000 miles a year. That's why I ask for a new squad car every year. As the cars get older, we eventually replace one out. Officers spend roughly about 100 years of training, each officer, in some type of atmosphere and training, whether it be in Des Moines, whether it be online training, whether it be local trainings. I'm really hoping that when phase 2 is done, we will be a hub and we can draw some of this training into Lamar's instead of farming everything out to Des Moines. We began our promotion process for a new chief and our new assistant chief, I should say, in 2018, and subsequently, of course, promoted Justin Dale. Bar inspections. We do surprise bar inspections at night. The bars have become accustomed to it. We have not caught an underage drinker in our bars the entire year, and they're used to seeing our face. They don't mind us coming in, they joke around. So actually that's been going out really well. New police building was, really took up a lot of my time in 2018, as well as some of the other officers. We moved in on December 3rd. I want to really thank the other city departments. The day that we moved, I think we had roughly 15 people there. The actual physical move to the old location to the new location, we were done in 4 hours. I think it's roughly going to take us 4 months to get settled in, and thus that's why I'm putting off the open house. I really want to do it this spring when we get rid of the snow, and we're gonna have an open house. The new animal control. I really want to thank city staff for building that animal control for us. It's very nice. We've had a lot of dogs in the shelter already. Phase 2 design in progress. Plans are being developed to work on Phase 2. This includes a classroom, a storage area, a gym, a locker room, incident staging area, a weapons armory, defensive tactics area. So that's something that's going to continually move forward. Jason, I'm not sure exactly where it's at. I think the last that we spoke, you've asked for a contract from the architect. Is that where it's at?
Yes,
Have you received that?
a draft of it.
Well, that's also part of this, TIF thing, right? So are we kind of waiting to see where we end up on that versus the, for funding, or is it,
We can,
is it in the books? Or, where are we at on Phase 2? I'm curious myself.
there's no final design, there's no plans,
Okay.
that's not done. And they won't do that until we sign a contract with them. So that was just kind of
Sign a contract with who?
with CMBA.
Okay.
I have a draft from them.
But can Ryan take it from there, from the draft? I mean, I wouldn't, just going on the assumption we'd stick with Ryan since he did Phase 1, he probably has a pretty good handle on projections for Phase 2. Can't we just hand it off and to Ryan? Or if it's not there, or what?
Well, we would handle it the same way we did the Phase 1. CMBA did that design, and then we hired Wilchin Brothers separate to be construction manager.
Right, to be the
That
man.
would be the intent for Phase 2, to do it the
Okay.
same way.
Okay.
But there should be, right now, it's just a concept on a piece of paper. Oh,
Correct.
this is gonna be in this area and so forth. There should be something more of design than just that.
What does it take us to move to that stage? Just to go into the more the in design?
Nothing other than us signing the contract
Okay.
with them. Then I don't think it would take long, because they've done a lot of that stuff. A lot of that look from above, overall look for a Phase 2 anyway. So then it's just some more detail.
And a lot of that look is cost savings off of Phase 1, right?
Yeah, and we did maybe 1 or 2 things to accommodate, in Phase 1 to accommodate for a Phase 2.
Right.
No, it wouldn't, I don't think it would take very long for them to come up with final documents to, as far as plans and bid documents. I don't think it'd take them very long.
Out of curiosity, do we have an idea of cost?
It was 600,000.
Yeah, I don't know exactly the timeline on things, Jason. I would just hope that maybe things could be done by fall. That way it gets into a time where contractors are willing to bid and they're willing to do work, maybe.
You should have just enough time though to enjoy Phase 1.
I agree.
Otherwise, you'll take Phase 1, advantage of Phase 1. You gotta enjoy it fully first.
I'm enjoying it. After walking through the old building, I really enjoy it. After seeing the paneling and the carpet and just how rough it is over there, we are thankful for it. Let's move on to page 6. I want to talk about training a little bit. I'm not gonna go through all of these. I'm just gonna talk about, let me talk about some things that we can bring into Lamar's if we do the phase 2 and we get this training area. Stuff that we can bring in are our police canine training. We have an awesome location for this. We have a grassy area behind the building. If we get this training area, that's something that we can become a hub instead of sending folks to. Tactical team training would be another one. OWI updates, practices. Maybe some less lethal training in a controlled atmosphere like a police department. Maybe NCIC certifications, crime scene training, forensic training, sex abuse, elder financial crime training, active shooter training. You know, we've done a lot of that in the community, but we could actually host that training in our facility as well. Any questions on any of the training that the officers have gone through in 2018?
Do you have contact with any public health groups for those types of problems? Do they have a working arrangement with any organization here in town?
Specifically,
I'm thinking of mental health issues that we encounter.
what we've done in the past year with mental health is we've done some online training. We've also had mental health individuals come to our department meetings, and they talk about what services they can provide us and we can provide the community. We haven't really had a full-blown training on mental health for some time. Actually, it's on Justin's agenda, right, Justin? That should be our March training, or is mental health training, actually. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. So I kind of went over statistics with you, and I gave you graphs kind of showing the changes through the years, and maybe comparison of the last 5 years. I guess one thing I will point out is page 8, under the calls for service. I guess technically I should give a report, an annual report on animal control as well, so I'm going to hit that real briefly. We had roughly 370 animal complaints in 2018, and we impounded 71 dogs. The